Listen.
Welcome to the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus. Welcome to Battle Bus Live. I am Brian Rose and we are live on the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus. Today touring the borough of Greenwich. Yes, that is the home to the Royal Observatory where Greenwich Mean Time is located. Also the home to the Cutty Sark, one of the most historic ships and one of the fastest of its time. Much like our bus, it's pretty fast. We're ahead of the curve and we're super excited to come to yet another borough of London. We've logged over 4,000 miles on this digital battle bus. I've been to every single one of the 32 boroughs in London twice. We're going for our third run right now, and we're going to keep going thousands of miles more all the way up to May 6th. And we plan on electing a new mayor for London on May 6th. We're so excited by the support. We're getting so much love in the media. We were in the Evening Standard yesterday on a 2-page spread. I'll be talking about that shortly. Everyone out there knows that we are the only candidate to beat the current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and we are going to make history on May 6th and make it happen. I hope you're with us. Learn more about what we're doing here, and I want to talk about some exciting things today, especially our manifesto. And this is what we've launched this week, and it's so exciting. It's our manifesto for the future because it's time to take London in a new direction. This has incredible, incredible work, detailed policies. It's 50 pages long, and it really is an incredible document. We talk about how we're going to rebuild London's economy, and let me show it to you. It looks something like this. I've been out in the public and people are literally trying to pull these out of my hand because they want to read through. This is 50 pages of quite readable policy. I know it's almost an obs. Your business, perhaps. It affects what you pay for housing in this document. And just to break it down, if of course building 50,000 new London/manifesto, you can see this document from scratch. But I called up some of the best in the business. I had them senior high-level officials inside TfL, our Transport for London. They came up to me and said, Brian, I don't feel safe. Brian, I'm bored to live in this city. I'm a nurse. I'm a teacher. I'm a firefighter. How can you help? This is real people telling me this stuff, and I put it all together above any other candidate out there, including the ones of the two parties that have had hundreds of years to work on these things and tens of millions of dollars and pounds in donations from corporations. We has been busy reading it at night at home, and he really can actually understand how we're going to make London digital first and free broadband for all. He sees how we're going to protect our freedoms of speech and, of course, do it all. Post it on your social media feeds, brianformayor.london/manifesto, and you'll say, this is the guy I was talking about. Look at these are the answers that's going to solve our problems in London. And again, we just couldn't be more excited. And I want to thank, I've been out on the streets for the past 4, 5, 6 months, talking with real digitally into our community centers from the corporates that thrive in London. And I'm tired of hearing this excuse that there's no money left in London. I'm tired of hearing that TfL is bankrupt and the mayor is defunding the police. He's defunding our firefighters. He's defunding our community centers. I come from the business world, 30 years of business experience. I can find solutions to this, and there's no point, there's no reason why London runs at a profit. The rest of our centers and our transportation system should be bankrupt. I've found a way to fund this, and I want to share that with you today. I couldn't be more excited. I've been talking with people on the streets and having some really frank conversations about why my policies work, and it's just been incredible, and I want to talk to you about that today. So what's happening at Brian for Mayor headquarters? First of all, what can I say? We're having fun. This is an incredible time right now. We are 3 weeks out from making history. We've been out there on the billboards, we've been out there with our digital battle bus, and now people are noticing. The Evening Standard, one of the premier publications here in London, has just put me on the front cover yesterday. And you know, what can I say? They call me a breakdancing ex-banker trying to be our mayor. What can I say? I guess that's about right. I don't have a real problem with that. And that's a pretty good synopsis. But when you open this thing up, they gave us a full 2-page spread in this newspaper, which is something that really shows our ideas are resonating with the world. And again, they got some incredible headlines here. My £1 million bid to become your next mayor. They're showing pictures of our battle bus here. They're showing me in my suit in the studio. But it really is a detailed look into who I am, where I was born, how I was raised, but more importantly, the policies that are actually going to change London. They go into my details of building 50,000 new homes. They go into my detail of putting 10,000 new police officers on the street. They go into detail about my £100 million corporate for community deal. And they talk about how I'm going to run TfL at a profit. And this is exciting to see this pick up from mainstream media. The world is finally noticing that we are the candidate of choice out there, and it's great to see it all. They even put a lovely picture of me and my wife in there, which is always nice to take home and say, look, honey, you're in the papers as well. And she just loves seeing that, and my kids love seeing this as well. I think the world is finally realizing that we are the only candidate that can beat Sadiq Khan, and we will beat him on May 6th. And it's nice to see our mainstream media noticing this. We were just on the BBC just a couple nights ago where they gave us a full segment just to ourselves where we talked about our policies for the future. And again, every single day we are dropping in major publications. People are really responding to our manifesto, and we couldn't be more pleased here. Now we just got to take the next 21 days and take it all the way to the vote. So I'm going to need your help today, and I want to talk about how exactly we're going to do that, because now is the time to lock in your vote. And I want to talk about that right now. Some of you have requested to vote by post, and you've probably got a letter from your council that's sitting there in your home. Now is the time to fill that out. Now is the time to make Brian Rose your first choice for mayor. You do not want 3 more years of the same thing here, business as usual in London. We need a change. I am the only candidate out there who can beat Sadiq Khan, and the only candidate who's got better ideas than him. Now is the time to send in that postal vote to your local council. You need to sign it, put your date of birth in there, and send it in /postal, and you can fill in a form, and we'll email you that same physically vote, which we want everyone to do as well. But if you have the option, lock that postal vote in right now. Brian Rose as your first choice. In London, they have a possibility of a second choice. That's not going to help us. We have to beat Sadiq Khan. He thinks he's already got your vote. And that's what has really not impressed me much about our current. To ask him questions, he runs and hides. And that's because he already assumes you're going to vote for his party because your knife crime record is not acceptable. Your housing record is not acceptable. And again, now is the time, a little bit later. Again, we have the largest outdoor campaign in British political history. We just doing first after first after first. Quite honestly, me and my team, we're trying to raise the bar when it comes to politicians being held accountable and getting their message out there. And I think after the work we've done in this campaign, from now on, every single race you'll see politicians raising their game to our level, and we're so proud of it. We want to get our message out there. We've got these ads out here, and I want to show you a quick video of some of the digital outdoor that we put out there. Again, if you see any ads like this, or if you see our bus today, take a picture, put it on your social, #Brian for Mayor, and I want to send you mugs, I want to send you t-shirts, I want to send you swag. Here's a look at some of those outdoor ads on video. Again, if you see any of our outdoor ads, our leaflets, our bus out here, there's people literally outside of the bus right now taking pictures. Use #Brian for Mayor. I want to send you some mugs. I want to send you some books. I'll send you some swag as well. We might even send you some London Real Party swag as well, because we have our own party now, and we couldn't be more proud about that. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that soon. Also, this is what the bus looks like if you haven't seen it before. This is a picture of the digital battle bus, and actually in person, it looks even bigger. It's a massive, impressive structure, and it's not really a bus. It's actually a mobile broadcasting studio. We've got multiple cameras out here. We can stream out to millions of people live worldwide, and I can have a real conversation with you. Again, I'm asking for your questions right now. Ask me hard questions. Ask me the questions that the current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, the ones that makes him want to run and hide. Ask me those hard questions, and I promise to stand and deliver those answers to you, and I'm going to do that today. So again, we are completely changing the face of politics into a completely digitally transparent medium, and I'm going to take all of these digital networks and broadcasting platforms all the way with me to City Hall. And we're going to take London Real, which is aptly named, right into City Hall, and we're going to keep talking to you and having these conversations, and that's going to allow me to be the best and most effective mayor. So keep an eye out for this bus. Like I said, logged over 4,000 miles, every single borough of London twice. We're going for our third run now. And I just want to take a moment now and shout out to the Brian for Mayor Volunteer Army. This is hundreds of people behind the scenes that are out there volunteering for our campaign. If you're one of them, I just want to say thank you so much. There's a picture going up right now, just a few of them that were out recently with our battle bus, leafleting and passing the word. These people have so much passion. It's an incredible group. I had a live call with them last night, and it's absolutely amazing. I get on a live Zoom call with them every Wednesday night, and I tell them how impressed I am. I try to tell them exactly how important they are to our campaign. They are out there, hundreds and hundreds of people that are out there on the streets every day, that are posting things digitally, that are sharing our message because they believe in what we're doing here. They can see the passion. They can see the 50-page manifesto that backs everything up that we've been saying for 6 months in a document form in black and white with detailed policies that have been costed down to the pound. I know how I'm going to pay for the police. I know how I'm going to pay for the community centers. I know how I'm going to pay for the affordable homes. No other candidate has a plan. They talk a lot, but they do not have the details. Go check for yourself. It's not there. And that's why we have such a passionate volunteer army, but we need more. So this is the chance to come in with us for the big win. We've got 3 weeks left. If you want to volunteer for us, and again, we'd love it if you were in London, but anywhere around the world you can help. Go to brianformayor.london, click on the volunteer button on the top, or go to brianformayor.london/volunteers. Type in your name, your email, boom, we're going to get you in right away. We can have you help us. Go out there and leaflet with us. We can have you get on phone calls or just share our posts on social. Be part of it, and of course, be part of the Brian for Mayor inaugural ball. It's going to be a cracking party once we win. It's going to be days later. There's going to be some big name venues. I cannot confirm or deny. Kanye West is going to be there. The Rolling Stones. It's going to be a big party. And of course, the volunteers, they get the front row seats. So if you want to be a part of this, come volunteer with us. It's incredible. You can come out. You can meet me. You can come on the bus. And again, come for the big party when we celebrate the huge win on May 6th. We're excited. Thank you to the volunteers. You're absolutely amazing. Come join this incredible group. They have so much energy. It's again, we've never seen anything like it before, and people are actually advancing their own lives by being part of our campaign, and we couldn't be more proud. So thanks to the volunteers. Want to say a couple things before. I mentioned the London Real Party. It's been launched. If you want to learn more information about that, go to londonreal.party, and you can see this is what it looks like, the London Real Party. A little bit of our logo here. You can see it on screen. And again, we're so proud that finally now we can have our own political party. Yes, we are still independent with an independent voice, but now we have our own party, which just gives us more backing. Also, a little bit about the London Real Party. It's finally a party for Londoners. And what we represent are really important values like determination, innovation, perseverance, fortitude, and that indomitable spirit that this city and this country are famous for. That's what the London Real Party represents. And we are also fielding 4 candidates for the London General Assembly. And we're so excited about that. It shows our long-term commitment to local politics. And we are all in on this. This is something that we've thought a lot about. We've gone all in. And I just want to remind everyone out there that we've been campaigning for 6 months. For 6 months, we've been out here creating ideas, posting videos, doing 90-minute long real deals in my episode, criticizing and commenting on the mayor's failed policies. We've been out on this bus for 4 months, out there in the streets, out there in the snow, literally getting stopped and fined by police just because we believe in this message. and we couldn't be more excited about the London Real Party. And again, you can now join the London Real Party as well and become a member. So go to londonreal.party, and again, we'll send you some of this swag out here, and just become part of something that's just going to be bigger than yourself, and we're excited to move that forward. So that's the big stuff. Again, one final thing I want to say, if you see any Brian for Mayor pieces, hashtag Brian for Mayor posted on any of your social platforms, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Use the hashtag. We're watching constantly, and we're going to send out t-shirts, mugs, pens, and we really want to do that. And finally, get that postal vote in now. Do it today. Just lock it in. Go find it. It's in your mail somewhere, and say, oh yeah, of course, Brian Rose, my first choice. Of course I knew that. I almost forgot. Sign it, date of birth, get it into the council. Let's lock in a few 100,000, maybe a few million votes in right now. We can win it right now today if everybody went in there and locked in your postal vote. If you want to vote by post, go to brianformayor.london/postal. Literally, you pipe in your name and your postal address, and boom, we'll email you the piece. You can print it out and send it in. If you haven't yet registered to vote, there's literally days left to do that as well. Go to votefirst.london. It'll take you 300 seconds, and you can register to vote. All you need to be is living in London with a national insurance number. That's it. It's simple. You send it into your council. They'll send you the form, and for that, you'll actually have to go in and vote physically on May 6th, which is okay. That works as well. Make sure you vote. Honestly, you can vote for whoever you want, but make sure you vote. Own the democratic process. If not, you are complicit in allowing that man to spend 3 more years in City Hall. And let's be clear, that's where he'll be, up in the top floor of City Hall, because he won't be out in the streets. He won't be going out in public because he gets heckled every time he is. And again, why would he bother? He's already got your vote for 3 more years. Let's not let that happen. I have to live in this city as well. Now, I want to hear from you. So please, leave me a question. If you've never sent me a question before, now is the time. In 3 weeks from now, we're going to park this battle bus probably right in front of City Hall, but I won't be driving it around. I'll have a new job to do. So this is one of your last chances. Ask me a question. First of all, tell me, what borough do you live in, or what city do you live in? And what's your biggest challenge? What do you struggle with? How can I help you as your next mayor of London? Second of all, are you excited for the manifesto for the future? Have you seen this already? If not, go right now, brianformayor.london/manifesto. Check it out, share with it. And who do you plan to vote for on May 6th or today via your postal vote? Like I said, you can vote for me today, but type that in the chat. Next, are you planning on voting by post? Is that a yes or a no? Type that in the chat. And have you gone to our website to get that postal vote? Fourth, do you agree with my policies to make London safe? That means putting 10,000 new police officers on the street, but not only that, making them better trained and fully digitized, and injecting £1 billion of capital into our communities from corporates directly. We're not going to tax you for this money. It goes right in there from the corporates. Do you agree with my plans to make London safe? And lastly, is it time for new leadership, fresh ideas, and to take London in a new direction? Put your answers in there right now, and I'm going to be going to your answers very, very shortly. First, I want to start off with part 1 and talk about this incredible document in my hand. It's something we couldn't be more proud of, and it's called a Manifesto for the Future. This is something we've spent 8 months working on. Like I said, working with some incredible people behind the scenes, and it talks about our plans to rebuild London's economy, put 10,000 new police officers on the street, to abolish the congestion charge until 2022, and also build 50,000 new homes by Christmas. And look, I'll be honest with you, 9 months ago, I didn't really understand the detailed problems that London had. I didn't know that I didn't realize that he had caused knife crime and violent crime to go up every single year he was in office. That's a 28.5% increase in crime on his watch. I didn't know how he had failed to invest in the police. I didn't realize how he had not supported London's economy. And I also didn't know how badly he had bankrupted our transport system, and how he was punishing Londoners with his extended congestion charges and his LTN fines that's racked up millions of pounds in places like Enfield and Ealing and Southwark. I've been to all those places. I didn't realize how much damage Sadiq Khan had done to London. I really didn't know. But I did what I do with everything in my life. When I'm passionate about something, I go all in. And so I started studying the details. I started reaching out to people on LinkedIn, and I said, would you get on a call with me? I want to learn more about this problem. And people looked at me, and they looked at our website, and they said, wow, this young man, because some of them are older than me, seems like he really cares, and he wants to solve the problems of London. And I was blown away by the level of high-level support I got. I was getting on Zoom calls with people I never thought would spend time doing this. I'm talking about senior members of the House of Lords. These people have very important work to do and are usually senior members and very accomplished members of the British community. They took time out to help me on this policy. I got contacted by senior members of the Metropolitan Police that gave me detailed advice that is right here in this document, comes from those officers, from their mouths. I got in contact with senior architects that have helped me build the plans for the modular housing, which are actually outlined in this book. Pictures of the actual modular homes in this book are here, and that's been done by the architects. I got contacted by senior entrepreneurs, some of the founders of big names like Pizza Express and Yo Sushi, that advised me on the policy when it came to rebuilding London. And I was just so powerfully impressed and just humbled that they would take time out of their day to help me. And I'm talking about doctors as well, and scientists, Nobel Prize winners. These are all the people that contributed to this document. But I also want to say it wasn't just these people. It was also real Londoners in the streets. And I've had hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 conversations with real Londoners in the streets. And I've said, what are you struggling with? What's your challenge? And they've all had different challenges. Brian, my business is being shut down. I'm in the hospitality sector. I can't open my pub. My children have to carry knives to school because they're scared. My cousin got stabbed last week. I can't afford to live in this city even though I'm a nurse and my work is important. You know, I can't afford the congestion charge. I can't visit my grandmother because I can't pay the congestion charge that the mayor has extended to 24 hours a day. These are real conversations. And I thought, how can I solve their problems, but also pay for it? There's nothing worse than a politician that tells you everything's going to be okay, but can't actually tell you how he's going to pay for it. And so I went and I dug deep and I leveraged my 30 years of experience in the business sector. I've worked in the automotive industry. I've worked in aerospace. I've worked on Wall Street. I've worked in the City of London in the financial center. I've worked in digital media for 10 years. And I've also worked in digital education. And I've also worked in technology startup. And I thought, surely I can find a way to pay for this. And so I went deep and I started looking into the TfL. I saw all the land that they held that we could use to create revenue. So TfL wasn't running at a bankruptcy. I also looked into things like community centers, and I thought, why can't we get corporates to donate? I looked into the police and thought, wow, if we digitize it, we can actually save money over time. And I look at everything through the lens of business, including my plans for the Great Celebration, which is my plans for 31 days of festivals, street fairs, music concerts to bring 20 million people safely into London in the month of August and make this year, 2021, our best year economically. Imagine us showing off to the world the best of technology, to our commerce, to our industry, looking forward with innovation, with solution, and again, with that incredible British. Implore you right now to take a look at this thing. Go to brianformayor.london/manifesto, share it on your socials. Share with your friends and family who maybe have heard you talk about Brian for Mayor, but just aren't sure. And perhaps I'll vote for him as well. Again, I believe if every single Londoner had a copy of this manifesto in their hands right now, we would win this election hands down. We'll win because they'll see we have the best ideas and we are committed to solving London's problems. So again, couldn't be more proud of this document. Please download a copy and look into what we're talking about here. We're going to rebuild the economy. We're going to make London's streets safe. We're going to build those affordable housing. And we're going to finally sort out our transportation infrastructure. All right, it's time to go to your questions now. And again, if you've never left me a question before, now is the time to do it. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, it's all coming right here to my digital device. And I want to kick those questions off for you again if you don't remember them. What borough are you living in, or what city are you living in? What is the question you'd like to ask me? Are you excited for this manifesto? And who will you vote for on May 6th? Next, tell me, are you voting by post? Or have you actually gone to our website and ordered the postal vote form? Do you agree with my policies to make London safe, putting 10,000 officers on the street and investing in our communities? And finally, do you think it's time for new leadership, fresh ideas, and to take London in a new direction? I'm going for your comments right now, and there's a lot of them. I got pages and pages of comments here. Thank you so much. I don't know where to start. I'm going in with Jazzy DX Music on Instagram saying, Brian for Mayor, keeping it real in all caps. Thank you, Jazzy. Look, my show's been called London Real for 10 years. We like to keep it real. You've been seeing me broadcast for 10 years, unedited, unscripted, uncensored, uncut. We like to give it to you straight. I don't always get it right, but over T573 on Instagram saying, I'm glad you care about what the people want. I do. Thank you so much. I got Anthony Malta on Instagram says, God bless this man. Cool. I'll take that. Thank you so much. We need all the help on May 6th and even now on those votes. We got Mouse King 51 on Instagram says, I'm all for great minds coming together and making great things happen for all the people on the planet, the animals, and the future. And Mouse King, you're right. I've been blown away and humbled by all the support we've got, by people that, you know, are very busy people that still want to be a part of that, which is incredible. I got Free Spirit 1969 on Instagram says, you get my vote. Do you have any plans to get the youngsters off the streets, youth clubs, etc.? It's a great question. I'm going to be talking about that today. Corporates for Communities is coming in part 3 today, and I'm going to break down how we're going to get £1 billion injected into these really important things. I got I Eat Spiders, great name there. They say you are the change we need. Thank you. We really feel like it as well. I got Briggs85 on Instagram says, don't give up. They're trying to stop you getting in office, unquote. And it's a great point. Look, the truth is they can't stop us because the democratic process will prevail, but you've got to get out there and vote. You got to vote by post, register to vote, vote by post, or get out there and log your vote on May 6th. We can win. The democratic process will win, but you've got to make it happen. So thank you for that, and thanks for reminding us that we got to make this happen. I got Bruno on YouTube. It says, great to start the day with you, Brian Rose, next London mayor in shiny armor and the fantastic battle bus. Greetings from Mexico City. Thank you so much. Hey, Bruno, we were in the Mexico Post a couple days ago. Look, this campaign's going global. Let's be honest. We're talking about ideas that aren't just going to change London. These ideas are going to change New York City, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Tokyo, Madrid. We are going to change the world with these ideas, and they're basics. Let's get the economy back. Let's get our transport sorted. Let's get our streets safe, and let's get houses built. So we've had so much interest from around the world. It's been incredible, and it's great to see we got support in Mexico City. I guess you're about 5 or 6 hours earlier, so thank you for being up. I got Jamrock on YouTube says, Brian, we love you from Brixton. I'd love some flyers to give out. Great stuff. If you go to brianformayor.london/volunteer, put in your details. I'll send you flyers and we can help out. Or you can join our team on the streets. And again, we got 3 weeks left. Come in with us for the big win. It's going to be a great day. And we really appreciate you. I got a lot of love in Brixton. Spent a lot of time out there. It's an important place. And it's great to see support from all over London. I got, man, I'm going by the O2 Arena here. It's absolutely beautiful out here. I love going through the boroughs of London here. We have an incredible city. I'm seeing Canary Wharf from the opposite side. You know, I've lived here for 21 years. This place still doesn't surprise me on how beautiful it is, how it represents opportunity, how it represents the fact that anyone can come here and create the life you want. I love this city, and I want to get it in the right direction. And I want to say thank you to everybody for being a part of this thing. I'm seeing some incredible structures here. The Emirates cable car. I'm seeing beautiful things out here, and we just want to take this city to the next level. A couple more comments, and I'll get back and talk about how we're going to make London safe. Dylan Smith on Instagram says, will you protect London's heritage? I love this. This is a great question. And Dylan, you know, I'm a big fan of the history of London. It's so important that we always remember our history. And that's why I'm going to the Cutty Sark today. Going to go by the Royal Observatory and the museum up there. I've always tried to recognize the beautiful history that London has, and we're going to remember it. We're going to also understand how we can process that in the 21st century and always honor it and always have conversations about it. It's important that we always keep up a positive civil dialogue, and I think Londoners are the best. When we get everybody in the same room, when we get them off social media in the same room, they all want the best things for their children, for their grandchildren, for the city they love. They really do. And I'm going to be the mayor that doesn't divide people. You know, when we see the current mayor, all he's trying to do is divide you. He's trying to have arguments with the prime minister. They're making it about my team or your team, Labor or conservative. They fight back and forth, and guess what? The rest of us lose. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be a divisive mayor. I want to unite all of us to work towards that common good. That can only be done with an independent candidate like ourselves, and I can't wait to do that starting on May 6th. Again, rolling by the fabulous O2 Arena here. Spent and you know, the whole Millennium Dome. I remember when it was built back in the day. Spent many a good night in that O2 Arena, seeing people like Beyonce, the UFC. I even saw Jordan Peterson speak in that arena. It's an incredible place, and again, this city never ceases to amaze me. I appreciate being here every single day. Again, I'm a Londoner through and through. I've lived in this city more than any other city in the world, 21 years. I'm a citizen. My kids were born here. and I plan on being buried right in this city. I haven't picked out the graveyard yet, but I'm working on it right now. So a few more questions and we'll get back to you. I got Ron Swanson on YouTube says, Brian, please tell me the secret of getting your tie knot that chunky. I can't ever get mine to look this chunky. Good luck. Thanks, Ron. And you know, I didn't always dress like this. You know, when I first got to London, I was wearing skater chic is what my look was. The G-Star trousers and the skateboard t-shirt. And if you look at my early episodes of London Real, that's what happened 10 years ago. But you know, I just slowly started to change. We all change. And I started to embrace the best of British. And now I've got what I think is the best British tailor in the world. That's John Kent. And he's made these incredible suits for me. And he's finally got me dressed and ready for work. And so I come to work every day and I try to show the world and my team that I'm ready for business every single day. And I think, you know, the better you look, the better you feel. The better you feel, the better you do. And so I think it's important to get up and show yourself and the world every day that you are ready, even if you're not sometimes. And so I come out like this. I will teach how to tie the double Windsor knot. I'll be doing a special live video for that. Once I win, I'm going to do windmills in front of City Hall, and I'm going to do a double Windsor training class for my knot. Those are two promises I have to you, and thank you for noticing. A couple more questions. We got David on YouTube saying, time for a completely new and uncomplicated form of leadership. Drive out corruption from the sewers. David, I couldn't have put it better myself. Uncomplicated form of leadership. That's the perfect way to say it. Why does this have to be complicated? Here I am, your next mayor, speaking with you honestly and openly on the platforms you use every single day. I'm here talking to you. I'm here trying to have conversations with you. I'm not running and hiding. I'm standing and delivered. It's not complicated, so let's not make it complicated. I want to change everything. I want to shake things up and just do things the right way. A couple more. I got Larry C on YouTube says, open up all the shops, let the people work, and that's why rebuilding London's economy is one of my primary things. I'm going to abolish the congestion charge, drop business rates to zero to kickstart the economy, and then the great celebration is going to bring people into London. We must have a business person in charge to proactively build this economy. Otherwise, it's not going to bounce back magically. We're in the worst recession in 300 years right now. We need a business person at the helm. Lastly, I got Jason JVR on YouTube says, our current leaders are misleading. We need you, Brian. And I think Jason's referring to our current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. The man is a master of the press release. He's a master of the photo. He's always taken a really good picture with key workers, with youth workers. But then when he gets back to City Hall, he slashes their budgets. He's always got a picture with the nurses, with the police officers, but when he gets back to City Hall, he usually sells them out on social media. This is not leadership, in my opinion. This is politicking, and I think the citizens of London are sick and tired of it, especially when you look at the poor results over the past 5 years. It's nothing short of criminal, his record when it comes to making London safe, building houses, transport, or even focusing on the economy. And I want to talk about that right now, which is credible. Last question here. Twisted State on YouTube said, oh my God, this is live. I thought this was all pre-recorded, but he just said my name. It's great to see you, Twisted State. This is all live. This is how we do it here. It's very important. And again, ask me a question. I'll read it out. Ask me the hard questions. That's why I'm here. And again, while I'm here, show me one other politician that does this. Show me one that's willing to come out here live and answer your hard questions, that's willing to go out on the streets and have hard conversations with you. You're not going to see a single one. And that should tell you a lot about your choice for mayor. All right, I want to go and talk about some really important things in this manifesto. And it's important to me because it's about keeping our streets safe. And again, there's 50 pages of detailed policy here that's going to change your life in the next 24 months. It really will. It'll change the amount of money you make. It'll change how safe you are. And if your family is safe, if your friends are safe, it'll change how much you pay for housing. It'll change how much you pay for transport. This is real things that are going to affect you. You have to take ownership of this. And what I want to point out today is how I'm going to make London safe. And there are two parts to this narrative. And I want to talk about part one. And this comes directly from the manifesto. And this is part of my whole section here about tackling the crime epidemic. And you're going to see this slide go up on the screens right now. And this is how we start. 10,000 new police, but it's better trained and a digitized police force. And so many of the headlines you've seen in 2000 and 2021 have focused on violent crime, something that every Londoner is outraged by. Since the present mayor came to power, London crime figures, especially violent crime, have gone up year after year after year. And now, if you look at 2021, murder rates are at a 3-year high in the capital. Can you imagine that? one of the most prosperous cities in the world, and we've got teenagers getting stabbed to death on our streets. It's unacceptable, but it's something the mayor hasn't even mentioned as he's been out there campaigning for your vote on May 6th. It's curious to me how he hasn't mentioned one of his biggest failures. And so I want to show you some more slides here of what I want to do, and that is those policing. But proper policing does not mean cheap policing. And that's why I've costed this down to the pound, and I'm going to hire and train 10,000 extra staff, which is going to cost £300 million in the first year. £300 million is going to cost per year to have these police officers trained. And again, this is something no other candidate talks about. They throw out numbers, but they don't know how we're going to pay for this. And how we're going to pay for this is through something called an infrastructure levy. And we're driving right now, right around through Canary Wharf, where I see massive high-rise buildings all around me. Some are residential, some are bank buildings where I used to work, some are incredible retail outlets. And they've all been placed here thanks to Transport for London, who created the Jubilee Line extension and made it very easy to get out here to these stations here in Greenwich and right by the O2 Arena. And yet, there's prosperity around me here, and yet the TfL is going bankrupt and we don't have enough police officers on the street. That isn't right in my book. And that's why I've created the infrastructure levy. And that's going to levy a 3% charge on all of these developments here that are located within 500 to 1,000 meters of a Transport for London stop. And all I'm saying is this: if your property has gone up more in value than the average of London, and again, I don't want to punish you for properties going up, but if it's gone up that extra bit thanks to TfL, I want you to kick back 3% of those gains. It's modest, but it's enough to raise billions of pounds per year that we're going to put directly into our police officers. Now, make sure you understand what I said right here, because this will be hours probably before one of the other candidates for about this. We've actually spoke with developers about this levy, and I'll be honest, they're not happy about it, but they know that it's coming because they're a bit more when it comes to the police, and that's the digitization of police. And this is going to bring about £1 billion in savings when we simply digitize the police, and that's better technology to help those frontline officers process crime on the streets. Now, you might wonder, how does Brian Rose know so much about policing? And that's why I'm going to talk to you about that. How do I know exactly what a frontline officer spends? How do I know he spends between, or she spends 1/3 to 1/2 of their time writing out per year? And I also know this because recently I was stopped by the City of London police when they tried to ban me from campaigning, and they spent about 2 hours writing out my ticket to try to ban me from campaigning, which was, of course, not correct. But I can already see it in my own real time, how when we digitize these processes, our police can work better. And I just want to say one thing: I support the police. They have a very difficult job. Those City of London police officers that stopped me that day, that was a political decision. It was something that was out of their control. That was obviously coming from City Hall because they were concerned with the police. But it's not because they're bad people. It's because they don't have enough funding, they're not properly trained, and they're not digitized. I'm going to change all that. And I'm going to make sure those police train in the communities with you, that they have 2 days per month where they can train themselves, and that they're fully digitized, which is going to give them more time to police properly. We're also going to have a police force that represents the communities. That means the ethnicities, the races, the religions, and officers that are located from the community. That means if you're in Croydon, you're being policed by an officer from Croydon. That makes a big ways of doing this, and I'll show this with a slide I think here right now. And that goes in to these 4 pieces, which is streamlining the reporting of crime online and improving police efficiency, making the data available through all agencies, preventing information from falling through gaps in the system. We've seen this happen even in the past few months in London. Third, reducing the non-digital administration and repurposing, improving their efficiency. And finally, providing transparency through social media to move beyond this press release culture, which we see happening time and time again. This is what digitization is going to help with us. And finally, I just want to highlight our Victims' Bill of Rights. This is important ideas that we're putting out here. And it means that a victim is entitled to 4 things: information, protection, participation, and restitution. And this will allow all victims. Some people in the communities, I've spoken with Metropolitan Police, and I've found can see the detailed policies here. Now I want to hear from you. So type in and leave me a question. Tell me, what borough are you in? What city are you in? What is your biggest challenge? Next, tell me, who are you voting for? Or have you gone to our website, brianformayor.london/postal, to get that form sent to you? Next, are you in agreement with me about our policies to make London safe? Do you think it's the 10,000 officers and what I'm going to share next, which is £100 million per year for our communities, straight from corporates? And finally, do you think it's time for new leadership, fresh ideas, and to take London in a new direction? All right, I'm going in to check your comments right now. Again, they're coming from Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Type those comments in here right now. Yes, it's live. Twisted State found out that recently. I got Jordy Gareth. Jordy, you were here on Tuesday. I remember you. On Instagram, lives in Balham, London, and he says, Brian Rose has my vote. Thank you, Gareth. I appreciate you. Really great to see you back here. I love all our regulars as well, so thank you so much. I got Lori Brautzigam on Instagram, says, London needs your leadership, Brian. Sending Winnie support from the U.S. Thank you so much. We have support from all around the world. By the way, I've got volunteers from Budapest, from Bangladesh, and Brazil. I kid you not. So again, become part of our volunteer army right now. You know, you're probably thinking, I don't know, Brian, if this is right for me. Trust me, I meet people on the streets all the time and say, Brian, what can I do? I say volunteer. It's simple. brianformayor.london/volunteer. Type in your info. Boom. You're in. You're part of this movement. It's a lot of fun. Trust me. I got Free Spirit on Instagram says, vote for Brian. We cannot let Sadiq Khan destroy London any further. I couldn't agree with you more. We've got Art from Alexandria on Instagram says, where are you going now, Brian? We are going to Greenwich. On Facebook says, on the cover though. I think he's talking about the Evening Standard. On the cover though. That's it. Boom. Great to see your story now and breathe some fresh air into this city, unquote. Alex, I appreciate that. Actually do something about our problems, but we've seen nothing delivered in the past 5 years. The last year he wasn't even elected and he continued to underperform. It's time to say enough is enough. You know, it's time to put in someone else and let someone else have a go at these problems, which are so clear to me how we can solve them. But again, if you don't make that choice on May 6th, you are complicit in 3 or 4 more years of this nonsense. This is all down to you at this point. So make sure you vote by post today or vote on May 6th, and let's get some new leadership in there. A couple more questions here before I get to my final point here. I got Alex Robert McDonald on YouTube says, truth and integrity. Top man, Brian. Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate that. Again, I've been doing this for 10 years. My track record speaks for itself. I've had over 1,000 incredible people on my show, and they are backing me on this race, and I really appreciate that. We got Ili Belsia on YouTube says, your wife is Eastern European, ? Yes. Mariana is from Bulgaria. Now I've got 2 kids, 3 and 4 years old. They're half Bulgarian, half English, and half American. That's what I say, and so we're one big happy family. And yes, I love politics of the Saxons. Everybody that's come to London has always for Eastern Europe and all other places as well. I got Hamza on YouTube Khan doing nothing about the knife crime. Is the fact that the Mayor Sadiq Khan is trying to get your vote right now. And Sadiq Khan to a debate. For 3 months I've said, Sadiq Khan, when will you debate me? And tell me, am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong about the fact that violent crime has gone up by 28.5% on your watch, that you built only 12,000 homes when you promised 400,000 homes, that you've nearly bankrupted citizens in Enfield and in Ealing and in Southwark. I've been and talked to these people on the streets. Why don't you because they have an agreement. When they have debates, they just invite a picture, and I know why. Because I will absolutely show me the results. That's what I want to find out right now. And so again, you bring up a great point here. It's several, and that's what I want to do. And as bringing in tourism, bringing in innovation, technology, that's the job of the London mayor. I want to be out. That's what the mayor should do. And so thank you. That's a great question. A couple more final ones before we finish up. I got Donna Berra on Facebook says, come to Clapham Junction. We're going to be there tomorrow. Donna, we'll be in Clapham Junction tomorrow. So London Real saved my sanity all last year. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy's talking about London. We're just doing more of the same here with this race for mayor. A couple final ones. David on YouTube says, you're a great man who stands for the truth. My academy right now, taking my business courses and my broadcasting courses. Man, they work hard and they're really building some amazing business. Wait for this city to be teeming with 20 million people that are celebrating the best that we have, our arts. We are going to crush it. Londoners love a party. It's in our DNA. I don't know if you were here for the Olympics in 2012. I was, and we crushed it. Back in 1851, we had something called the Great Exhibition. Built a crystal palace in London's Hyde Park, 6 stories of glass and steel, and we showed the world that London was leading the planet when it came to innovation, and we're going to do the same thing in August. I can't wait. So Ron Swanson on YouTube says, Brian has, I think, 100,000% grown on me. Really excited on how he does. Thank Ron Swanson. And look, I appreciate it. You know, sometimes when people first see me, they see the suit, They see the billboard, they hear the accent, and they think, I don't know what's going on here. But you know what? You come for the suit, you stay for the policies, and then you show up for the vote on May 6th. And I think the more people get to know who I am as a person, they see the last 10 years of my life literally on YouTube, all the ways I've contributed, the ways I've struggled as well with my own issues and my own failures. Hopefully you could learn from those. This is just a continuation of me being of service to you. And so I know it takes a little time to get to know me. These articles go into real depth about a lot of my personal struggles. I've had a lot of failures in my life, but I just get back up, end up liking me. Most people that read my manifesto, they want to vote for us because they can see something real here, and we're super proud of it. All right, last thing I want to do here is I want to finish up and talk about my part 2 when it comes to crime, because the truth is this, and I had this conversation with a senior member of the Metropolitan Police, and he said, Brian, we can't police our way out of the knife crime epidemic. And I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, Brian, we can't police our way out of this problem. He said, the 10,000 officers are going to help. The better training is going to help. The digitization is going to help. But there needs to be more. And so I looked into the problem and I looked into the detail, and I went out to the community centers of Homerton. I went out to the community centers in Tower Hamlets. And I went out to the community centers in Southwark and Lewisham. And they said, Brian, the mayor has been shutting our community centers down. He's been sacking our youth workers. He's been taking all the money out. I spoke with David Hay, the world championship boxer, and he said, Brian, they're closing down the boxing gyms for the kids. He's like, what do you expect them to do? Of course they're going to result in crime. And I thought, there's got to be a better solution here, because these are our children. And when teenagers are stabbing other teenagers, it's not their fault, it's our fault, because we haven't given them other things to do with their lives. And so I found an incredible solution, and I based it on some incredible work done by a young man named Jamal Edwards. And Jamal was on my show London Real about 4 or 5 years ago, and he grew up in Acton, and grew up near one of his community centers that taught him how to do video and audio production. He took that skill and created SBTV, an incredible grime music channel that he turned into an £8-10 million business. And he went back to his community center recently and he saw that it was closed, and he said, wait a second, something's wrong here. The government can't close this down. The mayor can't shut these things down. This is what made me who I am. And so he called up corporations like Google and the Wellcome Trust and started getting hundreds of thousands of pounds in funding. And so I reached out to Jamal and said, Jamal, let's take this to the next level. Let's take the incredible work you've done and let's raise £100 million this year from corporates and put it into 250 community centers in every single borough of London. Let's raise £1 billion straight from businesses like Uber and Amazon and Barclays and HSBC and put it right into these communities. And he said, yeah, let's do that, Brian. And so that's where I came up with this incredible idea. And again, I'll put this up on the slide here. You can see this is just one of the many pages of our manifesto. And I say it in black and white here: hitting gangs where it hurts and giving £100 million per year social boost. And it's called Corporates for Communities. And as your next mayor, I'm going to pick up the phone and get on the CEO of these multi-billion-dollar companies that are making a ton of money off London and say, guess what? I've got an incredible win-win plan for you. I've got a solution that's going to allow you to give back to your communities. It's going to support your customers, and it's going to show that you really care. It's going to give our young people new opportunities for entrepreneurship, for health and well-being, for whatever else they want to do to create businesses, to create their futures. And this is incredibly exciting. I know it's doable, but you've got to have a business person to do this. I can get on the phone with these CEOs. The current mayor of London, I think, would feel very uncomfortable making those calls, and that's why he hasn't done it. Also, why would he bother? He knows he's going to get your vote anyways. Why would he bother solving any of these problems? Because he just thinks he's going to get your vote if you live in London. I believe a mayor should come with solutions. And again, want to give a huge thanks out to Jamal Edwards. Here's a picture of him from the manifesto, and he's done incredible work already showing that this process works in his community centers. He's raised some incredible money for 4 of his community centers in Acton. And I look forward to working with you, Jamal, to take this to the next level and really go the distance. And again, just here's another slide as well, showing how we want to put £1 billion into 250 community centers in every single one of the London's 32 boroughs. In the first year alone, we're going to service more than 1 million youth visits. And it's absolutely incredible. You know, I was speaking with a few people and they said, you know what, Brian, you're the perfect person to do this because you've done exactly the same thing. And I want to talk more about that 1 million youth visits. And they said, Brian, you've done it with YouTube. You've created a business from nothing, and in 10 years have built up a following of millions of people, 500 million views. You're the guy that can walk into these community centers as mayor and show these young men and women that there are other options out there. And you know, that's what's important, because I have 2 young children. And trust me, they don't do what I say, they do what I do. And the same goes when it comes to our children, and I think the people in London. When they see the mayor have not a business bone in his body, he's never run a business in his life. When they see him approach the way London, they would never be inspired to do something entrepreneurial. Same when it comes to health and well-being. You know, some people joke that I'm the fittest mayor in London's history. Maybe I am, but I think it's important to show Londoners that we can be active and proactive about our health and well-being. And that's why I train every day. That's why I use mindfulness. That's why I use all of these practices. And I want to make sure Londoners see me do that. And hopefully our youth will actually do that as well. So I'm a perfect person that can really empower these community centers with this massive injection in funding and take things to the next level. And the final aim I have with all of this is to get these knives off the streets. And so starting May 7th, when I become your next mayor, I'm going to declare a citywide knife amnesty. That means you can bring your knife in with no prosecution, with no criminal issues on the back of that. But it's not just that, because that's been done before. But I want to create a dragon. I'm going to create a massive 20, 30-foot dragon out of these knives. And I'm going to be working with an incredible artist that's already done these with knives. And his name is Alfie Bradley. And he works with the British Ironworks Center. And he has already completed a 27-foot sculpture of an angel made by knives surrendered in these weapons amnesties. And it's a powerful thing to see. And when people see this entire sculpture, credible sculpture, and I'm going to make 13 here in London, we're going to prevent knife crime from ever happening. It's going to be something they talk about in 100 years as something that never would ever happen again. And we're going to do it with artists like this and sculptures like this and big, bold ideas that I bring as your next mayor of London. And again, this is all detailed inside my manifesto. This is how we're going to solve this problem. These aren't just idle things I say when I'm on camera. These are detailed ideas that we spent 8 months working on. And again, we're working with incredible people behind the scenes that have helped create this manifesto, that have now seen this manifesto, and that have now all told me they're voting for me for mayor, and they're telling all of their friends and family to do the same. And so again, I'm super proud of this document. Go to brianformayor.london/manifesto to read it now. Lastly, this is your last chance for questions. I'm going to come to them now. We're going down a real steep hill here, going into Greenwich. I'm going to be at the Cuddy Sark in a few minutes, I think, coming to hang out with you. But answer your final questions for me. Tell me, what borough do you live in? What city do you live in? What do you want to ask me? Next, are you excited to download or get a copy of this manifesto, and who are you going to vote for on May 6th? Thirdly, tell me, are you voting by postal vote today? Are you going to send that postal vote in, Brian Rose, first choice? Or are you ordering one from our website? We've only got a few days left to send those in. Fourth, are you excited about my plans to make London safe? 10,000 officers on the streets, £100 million into community centers every single year. Again, knife amnesty, really incredible solutions to make London safe. And finally, do you think it's time for an independent voice, fresh ideas, and to take London in a new direction? This is your last chance to give me questions, and man, there's pages of them. Again, if you've never given me a question before, now is the time. Like this video, share this video, grab this link, put it on your Instagram story, put it in your stories on your other social media platforms, stick it in your WhatsApp groups, post it on your social media, and say, hey, check this guy Brian out. I wasn't sure about him at first, but man, there seems to be some real passion here, some real detail, some real thought, and check his manifesto out. This is the real deal. So please post that right now, give us some love. And man, there's a lot of questions here. I'm going to try to get through all of them, and we're going to wrap this thing up. I've got Ash on YouTube that says, I'm living in London Borough of Redbridge, and I'm open to new ideas. Great to hear from you, Ash. That's Ash ICU. I've been out in Redbridge a few times right now, and my wife Mariana used to live out there with her daughter Gabby before we all moved in together, and so it's incredible out there, and I really appreciate you being open to new ideas, and that's what we need. We need people to engage with politics in a new way. I'll be honest, I didn't vote in the last mayoral election. You know why? Because nobody made it interesting for me. Nobody showed me that my voice would matter. Nobody showed me that they actually cared about my ideas, and nobody engaged with me on my social platforms. I want to change all of that, and I think we're changing it right now. I'm here to listen to you, so let's do this, and let's do this together. Reforming Light on YouTube says, Brian is a good guy. He will do the job well, but these Tory monsters in power will do all they can to stand in the way of every progress that does not take their egoistic benefit into consideration, unquote. And the truth is, reforming light, the two-party system has a stranglehold on this city. And they give you an illusion of choice. Every 4 years, you get a different choice, but they sign off on each other's failures and nothing changes. I haven't seen anything change in the past 20 years. Both parties have bankrupted our transportation system. Both parties have failed to build housing, and both parties are failing you every day. It's time for an independent voice, but they're going to do everything in their powers to keep me out of this, and they're going to use their state-run media organizations to try to block me out. They're going to try everything they can with their Ofcom regulators to keep me off the radio waves. I've seen it all, and that's why we have to be 10 times better, and that's why I need you to help me as a volunteer or to share this information, because we can do it. And we're going to do it on May 6th. Stephen Parker on YouTube says, hey, Brian, what are your plans to energize London's creative economy and the arts? The Great Celebration is it. 31 days of street festivals and music fairs. And again, it's about 20 million people in here to show off the arts, to get the musicians back in business, the theaters, all of the arts and culture, the operas, everything, to just get them back in business with a boom. So great question. And we are really into this. T5514 on IG says, Brian, you're a humble man. All the best. I'm more humble than you think. Trust me. Life has humbled me. This race has humbled me. But look, I just want to serve. I want to serve you. I want to serve this message. That's my job. And if it takes me going out there in a big, bold way to serve London, I'm willing to do that. And it is a really humbling process. And I've been so humbled by your support. So thank you so much for that. I got Get a Grip on YouTube says, you are a Londoner, Brian. That's a fact. In fact, more so than Boris. He was born in New York and should have stayed in New York. And Get a Grip makes a good point. Boris Johnson was born in New York City. Winston Churchill's mother was actually American. So, this city actually comes from all sorts of people from around the world. And I am a Londoner through and through. I really am. And I'm so proud of that fact. And Londoners are incredible people. They have a great view of the future. They work hard. They have an indomitable spirit. They're creative, and they get things done. And I want to be a part of them, and I am part of one, and I'm excited. So thank you for that observation. I got Kansas Movement on Instagram says, come on, Brian, win this election. Con out, which is great. And we spoke in Enfield just a couple days ago. And it's great to see more people like that talking about politics. It was great to meet you out there, and thanks for coming on here. I got Janos Cox on Instagram says, hi Brian, how you doing? I'm considering voting for you. What's the most important thing for you? Janos, it's 4 things. It's rebuilding the economy and being proactive about it from a business lens, which I have. It's ending knife crime on the streets, and we can do it, but you've got to have the money to do it, and I know where to get it. It's building affordable houses. I'm going to build 50,000 affordable homes by Christmas, mark my words. And I'm going to run TfL at a profit, something the mayor could never do in his wildest dreams. But I can do it because I understand business. Those are my priorities, and I'm going to start working on them as soon as I have your vote, and we're going to do it on May 7th. I got Act Billionaires, says on Instagram, best shape I've ever seen for a politician, bravo. He has the hair, money, he's smarter than you think. Pick him as your mayor for London. At least he's Instagrammable. Thank you, Act Billionaires. I don't have as much hair as I used to have, but I appreciate that. And you know what? I have gone all in on this race. We funded this completely ourselves. I don't have some corporate donor. I don't have some party telling me what to do. Clearly, nobody's telling me what to do because I'm here live with you. For me, the best idea wins. That's it. And the best thing for Londoners wins in a 10 or a 20-year horizon. I don't really care what's best for London in the next 4 months. I want what's best for London in the long term, and that's why I'm putting these ideas out there. The two-party system, they don't know what to do with me. I've upset people in the senior levels of both parties, I know for a fact, and that's okay. That means I'm doing my job right. I want to shake things up. I'm tired of business as usual, and we need fresh ideas and to take London in a new direction. So thank you. I got Sabby206 on YouTube that says, I'm a Greenwich resident, former city worker, and also a volunteer for refugee, asylum seeker, and migrant organizations, starting up with my own social enterprise. I would love the opportunity to meet you. We're in Greenwich. We're going to be stopping soon. Come to the Cuddy Sark. I'll see you over there. All right. Thank you so much. I got Shidiv Matharu on YouTube. It says, Akala has some great views on how to reduce knife crime based on how they successfully tackled knife crime in Glasgow. I know Akala. He was on my show 6-7 years ago. He's incredible. He's an incredible speaker. And I look forward to working with Akala and all people in the London communities to solve this problem. Lexay on YouTube says, Brian, please do your best to keep our gyms open. We stand with Brian. And of course, our gyms are open now. You can't keep me out of the gym. I support the gyms. I support Nick Wickcombe, who is our special advisor on health and well-being. This is the gentleman from Merseyside near Liverpool who stood up against armed police that tried to shut his gym down. He fought back, and that's why he's part of our team. I'm a big believer of gyms. They need to stay open for our health and well-being. I was swimming yesterday. I challenged Sadiq Khan to a swimming contest. Since he's too scared to debate me and he's running and hiding, Sadiq, I challenge you to a swimming contest. You can pick the stroke, you can pick the distance, but let's have some type of a contest so the people can get what they want. And I'll be doing that, of course, at my gym. Big shout out to Virgin Active for getting open and staying open. I appreciate you all. All right, a couple more, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I got Pure Mad Ford on YouTube. It says, this man knows a lot we don't. Guys, and he is against the corruption in the system. Amen for that. You know what? I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I got no time for it. No time for it. I want to go in and do what's best for London, period. And I can't wait to get in there and shake it up and make sure that we do the best things for London. And I'm going to do it on May 7th. So let's make this happen. A couple more. Alan K on YouTube says, what plans have you got regarding the London taxi trade? You know, Alan, I have been speaking with so many people inside the taxi industry. Taxi Point magazine has just featured me in another 2-page spread on the inside. I'm going to have that magazine next time here. And again, I want to revise and rethink LTNs. I've already spoken about this. The mayor's illegal street space scheme, which has been ruled illegal by the High Court, that he rushed through during the pandemic, illegally, by the way, that punishes taxi drivers every single day of the week, I'm going to get rid of. Also, minicab drivers are being punished by this congestion charge, which we're going to abolish until 2022. And I'm going to support black cab drivers who have spent up to £70,000 on electric vehicles, only for the Mayor Sadiq Khan to, first of all, not recognize them as part of TfL, which is an insult in my opinion. And second of all, not to allow them places to drive. They can't even go down Bishopsgate. They can't pick people up on Bank Station. I know the problems facing taxi drivers, and I want to end all that. I want to get more roads open for taxi drivers, for Londoners. We need to move around our city. This congestion and traffic is ridiculous, and it can be solved quickly. So thank you for that question. I got Eugene watching from the States. Love the hustle. Thank you. I got Chris Harbone on Instagram saying, watching from Coventry. We love you, Brian. Keep up the great work. I've had Jeff Thompson, former Coventry bouncer, on my show in the past. So big love sending you guys to Coventry. And Jeff, of course. I got Stephen Fontanos on YouTube says, let's go, Brian. Spreading the word and reconnecting everyone in what I see as a broken society. Hope to see you in Hackney soon. Would love it, Stephen. We're based in Hackney. I love that borough so much. We spend a lot of time there, so look forward to seeing you. And the last comment here is Harry Botonakis on YouTube says, I like this guy. He wants a prosperous London. Nothing like other candidates I have seen. And that's true, Harry. I'll take that one. I'm not like any other candidate you've seen. And yeah, the truth is our prosperity is important. And let's just finish on that point. London was built on business. This city has been here for over 2,000 years because it was built on business. The Romans came here not because it was a picturesque place to be, because there was commerce here and there was the future here. And we need to remember that. The reason we're here, the reason we have incredible culture and arts is because Londoners are here making a living and doing business. And that's why I want to bring you the Great Celebration and give an injection of business into the London economy, something we've probably never seen before in history. I want to celebrate the culture and arts. I want to drop the business rates to zero to support all businesses and get everybody back employed. And of course, I want to abolish the congestion charge to get everybody here. We have the best ideas in the business, and if you don't believe me, here's 50 pages of it. Our manifesto for the future is now out. Go to brianformayor.london/manifesto, download your copy, read it, send it to your friends, share this link, please. I honestly think if every Londoner had one of these in their hands right now, we would win. We would win. The postal vote would be done. They'd probably call it early and just say, well, you know what, Brian, you've already won. Can you move in early and start working on these policies? I would say yes. So please share this, talk to your friends about it, volunteer for us. brianformayor.london/volunteer. We've got 3 weeks left, 21 days to make this happen. If you have a postal vote in your house right now, send it in. Brian Rose, first choice, sign, date of birth, send it to your council. If you want a postal vote, go to our website, brianformayor.london/postal. Get it done. We've got days left until that's over. Then help us. We are the only candidate out there that can beat Sadiq Khan. If it's not for us, you're going to have 3-4 more years of this nonsense. Nobody wants that. I haven't met a single person on the streets that wants 3 more years. They all want to change. We need a new mayor, let's be honest. We all know that. We need a new mayor of London. And I am the person that can take us in a new direction. I'm so excited to do this. I'm so excited to basically take on what will be the hardest job I've ever had in my life. But I look forward to it. I've had 30 years to prepare for this job. industry experience, media experience, out there living in London for 21 years. I can't wait to get started. We've got so much work to do, but we can solve so many of these problems this year. I mean, by Christmas of this year, we can already be solving so many of these problems. So I need your help, and I just want to say thank you so much. Leave me a comment, give me some likes on this video, share this video to your social platforms. You know, I need your help to get this over the line. If it's not for you, there's no way we would be where we are today. Trust me, we wouldn't be in the Evening Standard if it wasn't for you talking about me. If it wasn't for you going to Sadiq Khan's social post and say, when will you debate Brian Rose? If it wasn't for you sending messages to the BBC saying, why aren't you inviting Brian Rose to the debates? Why aren't you inviting him to the debates? And again, this is going to happen time and time again unless you say it's not okay. So we need your voices. We need the Brian for Mayor volunteer army in all ways. And if you see something that's not right, if you see the BBC trying to have a radio interview like they might have last night and not inviting me, send them a message and say, well, this doesn't seem right to me. This is supposed to be a democracy, free and fair elections. And yet you're taking out the second place candidate and not allowing him to have a debate. How does that make sense? Check these things, check these institutions, check these parties. That's the only way we're going to move forward. I'm about freedom, your freedoms, your freedom to choice, and our freedom for a democracy. So again, thank you so much. We're going to keep going out here on the Digital Battle Bus. Greenwich, thank you for having us. I love this borough. It's got so much history. It's got so much great culture and so much great spirit. I'm going to come out and talk to you right now. I see the Greenwich Market outside my window right now. I'm going to come see you all. Again, thank you so much. We are going to win. Let's do this. Let's all make this happen. 21 days. Get out there. And I will see you next time on Battle Bus Live. Take care.
My name is Brian Rose, and I plan to be your next mayor of London. I want to lead this incredible city in a new direction by rebuilding our broken economy, reducing the frightening levels of crime, building affordable housing, and fixing our broken transportation system. I love London. I love the people, the history, the spirit, the culture, the diversity. It embodies everything I hold dear in my home. In 2007, my 2 young boys were born here, and I plan on being buried in this great city. 500 million views. I have now decided to stand for Mayor of London because of one fundamental reason. I can no longer sit idly by and watch our current crop of politicians drive this incredible. Now is the time for an independent voice and fresh ideas to lead London in a new direction. First, I will kickstart London's economy using my 30 years of industry experience to empower businesses to rebuild rapidly and safely. Our economy rebound. Second, I will lower crime by investing in more police, better trained police, and the digitization opportunities and support they need. Third, I will build 50,000 new affordable homes by Christmas 2021, utilizing land owned by TfL and modular building technology to quickly and efficiently deliver world-class affordable homes, capture the billions of pounds of value created by the network. I would then rethink, remove, and reduce low-traffic neighborhoods and congestion charges. These issues are crucial to all Londoners, and every borough faces its unique challenges, which is why I have traveled over 3,000 miles touring every single one of the 32 boroughs of London on my digital battle bus, while video live streaming my ideas directly to our citizens and listening to your detailed feedback. I have been overwhelmed by the incredible amount of support from real Londoners who love their city and simply want a better future for their friends, families, and communities. On my tour, I have learned 3 things. Londoners want change. Londoners want new ideas. Londoners want real leadership. Our great city now faces a critical fork in the road. On May 6th, your vote will decide what happens next in this most crucial time of our century. You can choose to have 3 more years of the same excuses, or you can choose to take London in a new direction with fresh ideas and an independent voice. We have the most incredible city in the world, and I promise to work tirelessly to make London a world-class city once again. I am confident that together we will accomplish our mission. On May 6th, vote for Brian Rose. A vote for change and a vote for the future.